Etymology and historical origin of the baby name Lolita. Lolita is a diminutive of Lola, which itself is a diminutive of the Spanish name Dolores. Dolores, Lola, and Lolita are all names used among English speakers, but their actual roots lie with the Spanish. As a given name, Dolores originated from one of the many titles given to the Blessed Mother in Spanish tradition. In this case, La Virgen María de los Dolores, or Virgin Mary of the Sorrows. Dolores is the Spanish word for sorrows. In the context of the Roman Catholic Church, Mary's Dolores, sorrows, refer to 7 events which occurred during her lifetime. 1. The circumcision of Jesus. 2. The flight from Jerusalem when Mary and Joseph take the baby Jesus to Egypt to protect him from King Herod of Judea's orders to kill him. 3. The finding in the temple when Mary and Joseph lose the child Jesus only to find him later dwelling in the temple among the elders. 4. Mary's meeting with Jesus on the way to Calvary. 5. Jesus' death on the cross. 6. Mary receiving the body of Jesus in her arms after he is taken down from the cross. And, finally, 7. The placing of Jesus in the tomb. Devout Catholics recite daily 1 Our Father and 7 Hail Marys in homage to the 7 sorrows, Dolores. In Spanish tradition, several given names such as Dolores are ultimately derived from the many epithets given to the Blessed Mother. Other examples include Concepcion, referring to Mary's Immaculate Conception, Corazon, referring to Mary's Immaculate Heart, Luz, Our Lady of the Light, Mercedes, Our Lady of Mercy, Milagros, Our Lady of Miracles, Pilar, Our Lady of the Pillars, Rosario, Our Lady of the Rosary, and Soledad, Our Lady of Solitude, just to name a few. Dolores especially became quite popular among American Catholics. Lola and Lolita are pet forms of Dolores. Personality of the girl named Lolita. Romance is the hallmark of the 6 personality. They exude nurturing, loving, and caring energy. 6s are in love with the idea of love in its idealized form, and with their magnetic personalities, they easily draw people toward them. Like the number 2 personality, they seek balance and harmony in their life and the world at large. They are conscientious and service-oriented, and a champion for the underdog. These personalities naturally attract money and are usually surrounded by lovely material objects, but their human relationships are always primary. They thrive in giving back to others rather than being motivated by their own desires. This is when they achieve great things. 6s are natural teachers, ministers, and counselors. Popularity of the girl named Lolita. Lolita first appeared on America's Top 1000 list in 1902, but really didn't adhere to the charts until the 1920s. Even still, the name was not commonly bestowed on baby girls as a standalone name, it was more likely used as a pet form. Most people are familiar with this name, thanks to the well-known novel Lolita by Russian-born author Vladimir Nabokov. Its 1955 French publication scandalized Europe, so by its 1958 printing in the US, Lolita was an instant bestseller, although it saw more than a few book burnings. In fact, Lolita saw most of her success as a female given name in America in the early 1960s, probably inspired by the novel. After all, Americans were loosening up by the 1960s, and although Lolita is synonymous with a childlike seductress, she was really the victim in Nabokov's book. The name wouldn't last long on America's Top 1000 list. The last time she made a showing was in 1973. To put this in perspective, only 28 baby girls were given the name Lolita in 2012. We find this surprising. It's a darling diminutive of Dolores, another name which has gone by the wayside. The only other infamous seductresses we see in serious circulation today are Delilah, Scarlet, and Lorelei. Lolita and Jezebel aren't making the cut. Quick facts on Lolita. Gender, girl. Origin, Spanish. Number of syllables, 3. Ranking popularity, not applicable. Pronunciation, Lolita. Simple meaning, little sorrows. Characteristics of Lolita. Sensitive, humanitarian, affectionate, community-minded, compassionate, family-oriented, loving. Cultural references to the baby name Lolita. Literary characters of the baby name Lolita. Lolita Hayes is the tantalizing 12-year-old girl in Vladimir Nabokov's controversial 1955 novel, Lolita, which was made into an equally controversial movie in 1962, starring Sue Lyon as the nimble nymphette. Lolita is the object of obsession of Humbert Humbert, the middle-aged, professorial narrator of the novel, who marries the mother in order to be near the daughter. Poor Lolita, she has no voice of her own, the narrative being commandeered by Humbert. It is through his interpretation that she is presented to us, and so we see her as a conniving, opportunistic woman-child who initiates the sexual relationship between them. Orphaned by her widowed mother's accidental death, Lolita becomes the property of Humbert, who leads her on a cross-country, nomadic journey while posing as her father. Ultimately, Lolita escapes his clutches, and after a brief liaison with Humbert's nemesis, Claire Quilty, goes on to marry a young man her own age. The wages of sin follow her, and Lolita dies in childbirth. She is still a child herself. Charlotte is the unfortunate mother of the title character of Lolita, the very controversial 1955 novel by Vladimir Nabokov. Charlotte rents a room in her house to Humbert Humbert, who promptly becomes obsessed with her 12-year-old daughter, the nubile Lolita. Charlotte is at first blissfully unaware of his true affections, believing him to be interested in herself, until she reads the sordid truth in his diary. She may be said to represent conventional society as a whole, for upon this discovery, she runs out into the street in shock and is killed by an automobile. Valeria is the first wife of Humbert Humbert in Vladimir Nabokov's Lolita, whom he marries early in a failed attempt to keep his baser instincts for young girls at bay. Indeed, her main attraction for him is her girlishness, although he considers her stupid and fat. She has the last word, so to speak, when she confesses to an adulterous affair, packs her bags and leaves him for her lover. He considers murdering or otherwise harming her, but does nothing. Later, he hears that she has died in childbirth. Humbert Humbert is the protagonist of Vladimir Nabokov's 1955 classic, Lolita, a book which produced a maelstrom of criticism, as did its movie treatment in 1962. Humbert is, by his own testimony, seductively good-looking, and believes he resembles a Hollywood actor. In addition, he is a well-educated and academically respected professor, sophisticated, suave and knowing. Beneath this surface, he is tortuously shy and timid, self-loathing, paranoid and illusionary. Oh, yes, and that little matter of pedophilia. Humbert is fully aware of the contradictions and inconsistencies in his nature, but he has no idea of why he leans in the dark direction he does. Freudian and self-analysis only anger him. He is adamantly opposed to the idea that his preferences are the result of childhood traumas. Humbert's sexual obsession with his landlady's 12-year-old daughter leads to years of his sexual exploitation of her, rape, kidnapping, cruelty, deceit, abandonment, abuse and death. Regardless of the character, if a 12-year-old can be said to have a developed character, of the child in question, Humbert, Mr. Humbert, is a despicable pervert if we take him literally. Instead, let's go along with British novelist and essayist, Martin Amis, and accept the whole novel as a representation of the totalitarian state that destroyed Nabokov's native Russia. Case closed. Popular songs on Lolita. A song by From Autumn to Ashes, Lolita, My Love, Lilacs and Lolita, song by French singer Eliza, copyrightee, Lolita, Trop jeune pour aimer, a song by Sia with tilde copyright Line Dion, Punk Lolita, Moi. Lolita, a musical by John Barry and Alan J. Lerner, a song by Elephant, a song by The Heads, Lolita. Famous people named Lolita. Lolita Libre superscript 3N, Puerto Rican nationalist, Lolita Davidovich, actress, Lolita Rodriguez, Filipino actress.